Mashallah. Giving all praise to the Abba Never Yahweh Bashim Mashiach Yahushua. Jeremiah, please say the Yah. We in the body of Mashallah, yes, Allah. And we here at this debate for one reason: to let you know this white man ain't a Jew. We the real Jews, man. Bring it on. Cut him, cut him, cut him, cut him, cut him, cut him, cut him. The scriptures are too hot, you need to cut him. The scriptures are too hot, you need to cut him. Cut him, 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 cut him. The scriptures are too hot, you need to cut him. You dealing with Christians, you need to cut him.
Cut him so deep, he gon' sleep up in a sepulcher. Life is not a movie, but you can't get the director's cut. Saw that kid in Harlem and I said I wouldn't harm him. Put my sword and start cutting for his head like a barber. Homeboy won the debate, so I started to get it in. So I cut him cause I know he gon' split at the end. And I think it's much better when your fam become your friends. Like that boy to the marrow, and we do it with no hands. You never dotting eyes, you painting eyes, and we make fun of that. These lions crossing T's, with a see you in the front of that. The blind all in line, and we see you in the front of that. My people be the Israelites, them Egyptians not coming back.
He was out here on the ride, seeing that they see the lies, selling us lies like selling dope in the kitchen making pies. But a Christian always run, thought it was all about love. $37 million for a jet, head to the bank and cash the check. The Muslim game is out of stock, 7 times around a rock. It's been our chosen, so stop. Jacob's the shepherd of flocks. Who's you gon' take us afar? All they wanna talk about them dumb walls, telling us to visit it. Talk about the pyramids, but they're not even in control. Gotta pay a fee to get on the road. Jehovah lied about his end. The witnesses we do not trust. Children be getting molested, but they don't be getting arrested. Also the Catholic Church, the figure of Christ, but pulling his skirt. Cut him, 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 cut him. The scriptures are too hot, you need to cut him. The scriptures are too hot, you need to cut him. Cut him, 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 cut him. The scriptures are too hot, you need to cut him. You dealing with Christians, you need to cut him.
Yo, we bring the swords and the guns to a word fight. Never scared of the dark cause we brought light. Falsehood, never that, we the truth type. Real soldiers in this war, either day or night. All liars is soon to retire. We smashing your idols and sparking the fire. Best repent fast, quick, hurry, we flashing them swords. Your soul is required. Truth got shot dead in the streets, but resurrected with the pen and the beat. We rhyme precept upon precept, false doctrine can never compete. 12 tribe melodies in your ear, with ancient flavor that you crave in the head. Kimid lovers get chased to them tunes. We bringing the law, yeah, how do we fear? Let's be clear, crest flow, we coming for your head. So paint the suit red. You and TD Snakes taught it was the law from the jaw at the pearly gates. You get no cred. It burns me, Jew, heavy rose. It was chosen to represent the Most High. Sign that a joking. We coming up in your venue with swords golden, plotting on Pharaoh head, Torah, quoting.
You know, the critics are saying, oh, Farrakhan talking all this black talk, and went over to this white man, L. Ron Hubbard. Stop, stop, stop. So, I found a tool that I know can help us. And I thank God for Mr. L. Ron Hubbard.
What?
You can keep them suits, them bing pies and bow ties. Your religion is the loose. On the necks of mental slaves, we close ties. We panic, cut them loose with the sword of the spirit. That's the word of the Most High. They tell us Mama was the last prophet when he died before we ever prophesied. We
back at it again.
lifting the land for the people's pounding your glands. Heaven keep them to hand. We
Back at it again.
we
Back at it again.
Exposing the line inside the NOI. This is Mama's revenge. Hands of the the necks of our adversaries. With this truth, I'm very revolutionary. If you ain't ready to die for it, take freedom out of your vocabulary.
Bring it out.
Black men, black women, your involvement is involuntary. You legalize and carry, you protect yourself by any means necessary. The for our sins, we were driven out the land and given to the hands of our enemies. As Africans, as Israelites, God was made to serve in captivity. And it was prophecy that we would discontinue from the Hebrew heritage we come from. That's why we got the same all blacks, keeping their customs, claiming us the Muslims. Out of the war, the cobblestone, praying to a speaker like nothing home. In the motherland in Jerusalem, your father was out of harm. But if you believe in Islam, then you can read in your Quran. Second Sirach 122, third Sirach 84.
Cut him, cut him, cut him, cut him, cut him, cut him, cut him. The scriptures are too hot, you need to cut him. The scriptures are too hot, you need to cut him. Cut him, 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 cut him. The scriptures are too hot, you need to cut him. You dealing with Christians, you need to cut him. You dealing with Islam, you need to cut him. You dealing with Egypt, you need to cut him. Cut him, 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 cut him. You dealing with Christians, you need to cut him. You dealing with Islam, you need to cut him.